In the next 5 minutes, we're going to build a document ingestion pipeline end to end. Take raw documents, split them into chunks, turn each chunk into a vector with Azure OpenAI, and push everything into Azure AI Search so you can run semantic and vector queries. This is the indexing half of a retrieval-augmented generation system, and it's the part people get wrong. By the end, you'll know the chunk size to start with, how to define a vector field in the index, the exact Python calls to embed and upload, and how to verify it's actually working. Let's wire it up. Here's how the pieces connect. Your Python ingestion job reads source files, usually from blob storage. It calls an Azure OpenAI embedding deployment to convert text chunks into vectors. Then it writes documents, text plus the vector, into an Azure AI Search index. At query time, a client sends a question. You embed that question with the same model, and Azure AI Search returns the nearest chunks. 2 rules of thumb. Keep your secrets in Key Vault rather than environment variables in production. And always embed your queries with the exact same model and dimensions you used at indexing time, or your similarity scores are meaningless. Chunking is the decision that most affects retrieval quality. 2 broad approaches. Fixed size splitting cuts text every n tokens with some overlap. It's simple and predictable, and a good starting point is around 500 tokens per chunk with about a 50 to 100 token overlap, so context isn't severed mid-sentence. Structure-aware splitting respects headings, paragraphs, or sentences, which keeps chunks semantically coherent but takes more work per document type. My rule of thumb: start with fixed size token splitting using a real tokenizer like TickToken. Measure retrieval quality. Then move to structure aware only where it pays off. Don't chunk by character count blindly, because embedding models have token limits, not character limits. Now the embedding call. Use the Azure OpenAI client and point it at your embedding deployment. For example, text embedding 3 small, which returns 1536 dimensions. Batch your chunks. The API accepts a list of inputs in one request, which is far faster and cheaper than one call per chunk. Each result comes back in the same order you sent it, so you can zip the vectors straight back onto your chunk objects. Watch for rate limits. Wrap the call with retry and exponential backoff, because at scale you will hit the tokens per minute quota on your deployment. Your search index needs a field to hold the vector. Define it as a collection of Edm.Single. Mark it searchable. Set the dimensions to match your model exactly, and attach a vector search profile that points to an algorithm configuration, typically HNSW, hierarchical navigable small world, for fast approximate nearest neighbor search. Keep the original text in a separate retrievable field so you can return the actual passage, not just an ID. If the dimensions on the field don't match what the model emits, index creation or upload will fail, so treat that number as a contract between the 2 services. With vectors attached, upload documents in batches using the search client's upload documents method. Batches of around 1000 or under 16 megabytes work well. Then verify 3 things. First, check the document count in the portal matches what you sent. Second, run a vector query, embed a test question and pass it as a vectorized query, confirming you get back relevant chunks with sensible scores. Third, spot check that the returned content field holds readable text. If scores look random, you almost certainly embedded the query with a different model or dimension than the index. That mismatch is the single most common bug here. So the pipeline is: chunk with a real tokenizer, embed batches with Azure OpenAI, define a vector field whose dimensions match the model, upload in batches, and verify with a test query. The one thing to internalize: the embedding model, its dimensions, and your index field must agree at indexing time and at query time. Get that contract right and most retrieval problems disappear. Your concrete next step today. Build it once with 500 token chunks and text, embedding 3 small, then measure before tuning. And because models, API versions, and pricing change, check the current Azure AI Search and Azure OpenAI docs for the latest dimension limits and quotas. If this helped, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.